So,
But the sound, I'll be watching your live stream today.
well, I just went live right now, and I'm still talking to you. So, all right, man, I'll talk to you later.
All right, later.
All right, see ya. All right, guys. I was talking with Angry Prepper. So I had called him the other day, and he was just calling me back, and I was calling him about his tirade that he or his venting, ranting, or whatever you want to call it, about the people complaining to him about when he was talking about like donating to Red Cross and donating to that one church, and then also donating to you know oh my god, I'm absolutely going blank. One of my moderators, I've completely went blank. I know exactly who he is, and I can't think about it. He asked for help. Okay, so people were giving him a hard time about that. So I just so he went on a rant and told them what they could do, which I thought was awesome. But yeah, North Shore Preparedness. I literally just went completely blank, and I know him. Obviously, he's one of my moderators. I've actually talked to him on the phone, so it's like very bizarre. But anyway, so he went on a rant about it. So I called him up, and I was kind of like laughing, and he's like, "Yeah, I know." So, but anyway, so before we get started with everything, I would just like to remind everybody that this is a very family friendly oriented channel. And so I would ask all of you to please be decent in the chat. No racism, no nastiness. If you decide you're going to do that anyway, those awesome people that you see lit up in blue are going to boot you out of here, and it is just not going to be tolerated, just not going to be tolerated. So, we're going to talk about that, John, here in a moment too, because all right. So, but the other thing I want to mention really quickly is if you have any questions, all cap locks, please. Um, you know, you know, had Russians in my live streams. There you go. The Russian bots, maybe. Um, but anyway, so if you have any questions, all cap locks. So before we get into what are your chances of making it when SHTF happens, and I'm going to be honestly, guys, I'm going to be brutally honest in this live stream, just so you know ahead of time. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I am going to be 100% honest, and if you don't like that, then I'm sorry, but I'm going to be 100. Like I said, I'm going to be 100% honest. All right. So there was Pinball put up a thing today saying that they're planning on banning wood stoves in New York State. Okay. Yeah, New York's been going down the tubes, Randy Romines, for a long time, long time. So apparently, they want to be the leader in the green nonsense. Because here's okay. Well, they want to be the leader in that. Because I see. I don't want to say what I feel because I don't want to be accused of giving false information of what's really going on with the planet. So I'm going to just leave that part of it alone. But we're going to talk about they're trying to, Pinball Preparedness put up a video talking about that they're going to be banning wood stoves in New York. Now, I did read the article, and it said a proposed bill that was signed in 2019 that supposedly, yes, I did. That's what we're talking about right now. And so the proposed bill says that as of October of 2022, no more wood stoves. Very unrealistic. Unrealistic that you would have to go to electric heat. Now, let's yeah, and there's a ton of Amish in New York State. So first of all, that's not going to happen. The Amish are not going. It's a great point, actually. That's a great point. The Amish are not going to. And the reason behind the ban, right? The reason behind the ban is because we're going to go to try to be carbon zero by 2050. Another unrealistic goal. It's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. All right. So yeah, there's a lot of Amish in New York State, and they are not hooked up to the grid. They all heat with wood. Hey, Bruce Johnson. Hey, Ed, sent you an email a few days ago about your prepper group. Just wanted to make sure you'd seen it. I did. There's like three messages that I have to answer right now, and yours is probably one of them. And if you would like, Bruce, just shoot me another email just to make sure, and give me your number. I do have a couple of calls, like I said, for people with that I do have to make, and I just haven't done that yet, so I do apologize. But anyway, in my neighborhood where I live, I'll give you an idea. Everyone heats with wood up here. That is our primary source of heat that we do. My I don't have any other backup heat for my home. I just have wood stove. That's it. Now I want you to think about this. All right, if this is a legitimate thing, this is what they try to plan on doing. It's never going to work for several reasons. Number one, like I said, the Amish are not going to ever be hooked up to the grid and use electric for heat. That's not going to happen. So I'm curious to see what they're going to do about that. Now, I know for any new construction, like in New York City, it's all going to be electric heat. There's no more gas or any other alternative ways, excuse me, that they plan on heating, right? The problem is you don't have, and I'm just going to go with New York on this because if this is something that is legitimate that they plan on doing, we're going to talk about a few things, okay? Legitimately, there's no way that they have enough sustainable energy to be able to do that for everybody. Number one, we have power outages every single year in New York State. Every single year, there's power outages. It's one of the reasons that I am off grid is because I don't have to worry about that with my own system. Uh, I have my own system, and I'll have the neighbors will call and be like, "Oh yeah, man, the power's out again." Greg and his wife, right? And I'm like, "Oh yeah, I didn't know." The only time I ever know if the power's out is if the internet is down. That's the only time I ever know. So the problem is, like I said, we get snowstorms and ice storms, and the power go down, and especially if you're more rural. Um, what? 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 Um, if you're more rural, you could be out for weeks. Now you're going to tell me that they're going to expect people, and I mean this is not even realistic. Okay, it's not realistic. They're going to expect people to be on electric heat, and then the power's out for however amount of time, and you're not. How are you supposed to stay warm? Like, oh, sorry, yeah, it's. I'll show you guys. What are you doing? What you doing? Kisses. That's a good girl. I'm trying to not have her get on my lap because what she does is she goes out into the run and it's all muddy and crappy, and then she comes in and then she wants to climb on my lap, and I'm like, no, I don't want to be all muddy and dirty. So I keep telling her no. So she comes in now and she's doing this. So which I is better. So again, the problem with that is there's no way that you're going to be able to. How are you going to police that? The police have enough other crap going on a daily basis. Number one, they got enough other crap going on to now they would be the Nazis that went around and fined people for heating their home with wood in the winter. I mean, it's just absolutely ridiculous. Stop, no, no, stop. Um, yeah, you know what, my German, Northern Prepper One said my German Shepherd used to jump on me. I trained her to stop. I could. I don't mind her jumping on me. I really don't. Sometimes I encourage it, which I probably shouldn't. But like I said, when yeah, New York and California testing grounds for the Democrats. Well, like I said, again, it's nuts. There's no way, realistically, uh, 80K man, he lives up in the Adirondacks, up in that area of the country or the state as well. Tremendous amount of people. We're not talking just a few people, folks, heating with wood. Okay, we're talking about tens of thousands of people in New York State heating with wood. So there's no way that you're going to be able to regulate that. And again, let's think about this. I mean, let's go bottom line. Bottom line. Who benefits? Who benefits if you ban wood stoves in New York State? Now, here's the other thing I want you to think about. A lot more people have been going to wood. A lot more people have been going to wood, right? But if you ban wood and heating oil, you know, and those type of things, now you got to go electric, right? Who benefits? Probably 100,000 people using wood in New York. Probably. It wouldn't shock me. As soon as you get away from the cities and suburbia and you start getting out into the country, you know, there's just no way. There's just no way you're going to be able to regulate that. So it's always all about the money. And what the thing is, who benefits? Power company benefits. So you don't think that they got a big old hand in this legislation to try to force people to be on the system. Again, it's always guys, man. I wish I you got to pay attention. And I don't see your fireplace, Cam. That's right. Well, I'm gonna tell you what. Um, I absolutely it's just another reason, guys. Honestly, for me to get out of the state completely. I've been, we've been talking with Becky, and there's things going on that end, which I will explain later as we get into that. I'm not going to share that information right now, even though I did on Monday with my hardcore members when we had our private live stream, but they're not going to tell. But there's something going on that end, and so we're all talking. But it's looking more and more likely that I will be putting this on the market come spring and just getting rid of it and moving completely down to West Virginia, which is where I want to be anyway, to be honest with you. You know, and just and start over, start over. I'm from Watertown, New York. I just moved to Georgia. There's a big difference. You probably are. I'm going to take a, yeah, buddy. I like the name. Um, I'm going to make a guess that they get a lot less snow in Georgia than they do in Watertown. If you guys don't know about Watertown, New York, Fort Drum is up in Watertown, New York, and that was going to be my first place that I was going to be permanent party. And so, but when I got up there, they already filled my slot, so they sent me down to Bragg. But Watertown is at the far end of Lake Ontario, and that area just gets pummeled with snow. Uh, when it snows down there, it don't snow in inches; it snows in feet. So there's a big difference from Watertown, New York, to Georgia. So, but that's awesome. Congratulations, on moving there. So, but I was talking to Angry Prepper, and he's planning on moving as well. And so he I was trying to sell him on West Virginia, but he said he's had a few bad experiences with West Virginia, so he's not 100% sure where he's going to go yet. But I grew up in Queens, New York, and now I will never leave West Virginia. Ghost Prepper just said that. I'm going to tell you what, I cannot wait. um, Dusty Culper said Pinball sent North Shore $200. What did you do for him? Well, first of all, that's none of your business. I did tell you guys I made a donation to North Shore Preparedness. I think that's kind of a private thing, and but that's everybody can send what they can send, and I don't think that it's appropriate for me to come on here. And you might be just coming on here fishing. I don't know, but that's okay. But I'll tell you straight up, I'm not going to tell you what I sent them because it's none of your business. I'm not. I don't ask anybody that I ask people to help out him. Okay, North Shore Preparedness had needed some help. And so I came on here and I asked people to go ahead, and if they felt it in their heart that they wanted to donate to him, to go to his channel. He has a PayPal account there, and you know you can donate that way. Now, I didn't say to any of you, um, I did not say to any of you, how much did you give? Because that's none of my business. What you have to do what's in your heart, and so that's kind of where I'm at. So if I feel like, yeah, let him speak. Yeah, no, I have no. He can speak. Don't block him. So, but like I said again, I'll tell you straight up, it's none of your business. So there you go. So I hope that clears that up. So, but But anyway, so Angry Prepper is going to be getting out of New York City, which I think is probably the best move that he could possibly make. He'll look back years down the road and be like, "Oh my God, it's the best decision that I ever made." And I know already, I cannot wait to get out of what I would call this godforsaken state. It's just these draconian laws that they're passing. I don't know if you guys knew this. I want to talk about this really really quickly. So those bills that they're proposed bills that they're going to be voting on January 6th, right? And so there was a big protest set up to go January 5th in Albany, but then Hochul switched things around, and now they're all now. First of all, I want you to realize this: you're expected to go to your job. All right, you are all expected to go to your job and take your chances and all that stuff. But Hochul has made it so that the legislative body of New York, they can all now vote remotely from home, so they're not even going to be in Albany. So it basically circumvents and it blocks you from protesting because they're not even going to be there. Isn't that interesting how that works? They're all a bunch of scumbags, in my opinion, and I'm talking about politicians. That's strictly my opinion, and I shouldn't say all because I do believe that there are some that have good intentions. But did you see the IRS is taxing anything over $600 on Vimo, et cetera, starting in 2022. I did not see that. No, I did not see that. But it doesn't surprise me because if they think that they're missing out on a nickel, they're going to go hunt it down, you know. But all right, so the situation with New York, I was looking, really looking. That article, I don't know how legitimate that article is. I have heard, being in New York, I have heard nothing being talked about saying that, oh, yeah, by the way, by October, y'all have to be on electric heat and no more wood stoves. I had not heard anything about that. Now, I'm not saying it's not legitimate, that it's not, going to come into effect, but, it is, you know, I won't be here if that's the case. I can tell you right now, I won't be here. There's no way I'm doing a different way. But you know, I'm going to tell you. So I wanted to mention this really quickly, okay? And then we're actually going to go on to the topic that we were talking about. Going to talk about what are your chances of making it when SHTF happens. I promise we're going to get into that. People like North Shore Preparedness that again, and I said this before, and I'm going to say this again, humble themselves and ask for help. As a man, any of you out there that are actually men, because I know a lot of the ones in the younger generation, they sure don't act like men anymore. They don't. They don't act like men. That's all I'm going to say. But if you're old school, and I'm sure that North Shore Preparedness is old school, you don't ask for help. You just don't. But if you get to that point where you're in desperate need, you do. Okay. And he did. Anybody out there now, I haven't seen it on my channel, and I will say that, but I know Angry Prepper was catching some flack on his channel. I have not seen it on my channel. I will definitely say that. But anybody complaining about somebody humbling themselves and asking for help, I would say screw you. Who are you? Until you've walked a mile in somebody else's shoes and lived their life and had to deal with what they had to deal with, who are you to? And here's the best part: if you don't want to donate, then don't donate. Period. It's a very simple thing, very simple. Okay, but I'm going to tell you what I think, and this is my take. And those people that are complaining and bitching, to be honest with you, all right, they're not preppers. They're not preppers. Those are just trolls coming in to try to stir the pot and make people angry and make people upset. The prepping community, and this is my opinion, again, my I do a lot of my opinion. I have to make sure I'm clarifying. The majority of the folks in our community, the prepping community, the off-grid living community, I think are absolutely awesome people. I really do. And I think we're very supportive of each other, and we should be. Because I'm telling you right now, folks, we are the ones that are going to make a difference now and in an SHTF situation. We really, truly are. So, Angry Preppers in the house, very nice. Glad he's here. Like I said, I was just on the phone with him when we started the stream. So, but I'm gonna still tell you, man, come to West Virginia, find the right spot, find the right spot. Like I said, I just get your privacy, do what you want to do, and live your life. You know what I mean? It's beautiful down there. I can't wait to be away from New York. Can't wait. So, guys, what we got? 660 in the chat. We're at 207 on the thumbs up. If you have not shot a thumbs up yet, I'm going to ask you to please do so to show support for the channel. And thank you ahead of time for that. I do appreciate that. Also, it really does help with the algorithm. So the more interaction that we have, the better it is for the channel. So I thank you for that reason as well. Also, again, I do like to see a lot of thumbs up. That's obviously part of the game. So, if you would do that for me to show support for the channel, I do appreciate that. Again, if you are not subscribed to the channel, I would ask you to subscribe. Make sure you hit the bell icon to get all notifications as well. So I wanted to mention this really quickly, and now we're going to get on topic as soon as I'm done mentioning this. So it just crossed over 97,700 yesterday. Okay, so we're like 2,300 away from 100,000. Once again, when I hit 100,000 subscribers, I will be having STD tattooed on my body. Looking forward to doing it. To be honest with you, it's been a goal for a while, and I know we're going to get there, and that'll be fun. That'll be fun. But just putting it out there again, we're getting closer. We're getting closer. And I'm watching it. I'm watching those hundreds like click off, and I'm like going, all right, come on, come on. So, but anyways, okay, let's get on to topic here. How many of you will make it and why? All right, or why won't you make it? I want you guys to understand a couple things. If a true SHTF event happens, location, location, location is going to be the biggest factor if you survive or you don't survive. That's number one. That is the number one thing that is going to make a difference if you make it or not. Okay. Like Hope King says, I like Virginia or West Virginia. Texas is too hot. I'm from Michigan. Yeah, Texas and Florida are really, really hot. Really, really hot. So, and Florida is way too flat. I'm sorry. That's just way. I got to have my mountains. I got to be in the mountains. But location is going to be the biggest factor, number one. If you live in the cities, your chances realistically of surviving prepper or not, if you're planning on bugging in or trying to ride it out, or if you're hoping to, get out at the last minute, that's not a plan to have. The plan to have is to get out of those cities, and a lot of people are getting out of the cities. They're getting away from those situations because of the reality. If you're in the city, your chances of survival is very, very slim. And let's say you survive. Let's do a little scenario here. We're going to continue on with the other stuff, part of this as well. But let's say you live in a city, SHTF happens. You got a couple months, 3-6 months worth of food and water, and you're good to go. You're ducking down in your apartment. Well, once the gangs get organized, and this is what you got to think about, cops ain't going to be there no more. There's going to be nobody there to protect you or help you or anything like that. And because you live in those cities, most likely you are unarmed. You have no real way to protect yourself. The criminals do not care about gun laws, so they're loaded for bear. They're ready to go. That's a realistic statement, I hope. What they're going to do is, once they've utilized every bit of food that they can steal or whatever they can do, they're going to go from building to building, from apartment to apartment, and they're going to rape, murder, steal, take whatever they want to take. That's a reality. And that's exactly what's going to happen. Now, I don't care how tough you are or how, you're X this or X that. If you got a whole bunch of them coming, you are not going to be able to defend yourself or your family again in that situation. You're going to be overrun. That's a fact. Okay. Also, second thing, if you live in suburbia, the biggest threats to you in suburbia are going to be your immediate neighbors, especially if they have any inclination that you are a prepper. If they have any inclination that you're a prepper, you're going to be in big, big trouble in a hurry. Because you have to understand the mindset. You have it, I don't have it. That's not fair. I deserve to have help, and if you won't help me, right, what are you going to do? What did it cost you to put in a water well? The well was part of the property when I bought this property here, so I had a well on site already. So that was part of purchasing the property. The well was already here. All right, so that's another reason why it's very, very dangerous to be in suburbia, because again, unless you have all your neighbors on board, and I've lived in suburbia, folks, some of those neighbors, it literally was, you saw them, you gave them a wave, they gave you a wave. That's it. If they waved at you, if they waved at you. So um, they're not people that you're going to be you know they're not going to be the ones that are going to be there for you. They're going to be takers. So that's another thing. Like if their house, middle of winter, let's say, okay, I'll give you an example. So my house in Greece, New York, when I lived in Greece, New York, I filled my garage with wood. So I had an access point from my house right into the garage, and then I could open up the garage and go outside that way as well. But I use my garage. I would store all my wood for the winter in the garage. SHTF happens, and my neighbor over here is freezing. They got no power, so they can't have any kind of heat in any way, shape, or form. But they see that nice smoke coming out of my chimney because I've put an insert, which I did in my house there, in the fireplace to make it more efficient. Because with just an open fireplace, it was 10% efficient. As soon as I put the insert in there, now it went there from 10% to 90% efficient. So most of the heat was kicking back in. Um, People are going to see that, and they're going to be like, wait a minute, that's not right, that's not fair. Okay, you're making yourself a target in those type of situations. So again, your chances of survival, and even in suburbia you might be able to have some weapons and stuff like that, but how many people are you going to be able to fight off if they're organized? Realistically, if you got a whole crowd of people, and yeah, you know what, there may be in the beginning, maybe you shoot a couple of them and they all run off, but they're coming back because you are a source. They know that you are a source. So eventually they're going to take you down. This is in suburbia. Now once you get out farther into a rural area, you have a lot more like-minded people. Okay, a lot more like-minded people. So like I said, up here, I only know one other prepping person up here, and that's Greg because he preps as well. Everybody else up here, I know that for the most part, I know doesn't prep. Okay, but everybody burns with wood. They're pretty self-sufficient. A lot of people have gardens, and so they do canning and stuff like that. So they're prepping without realizing that they're prepping. They would be people that are not going to come at you, and especially since you know your neighbors more out here as well, they're not going to come at you aggressively at first. It to me, every neighbor that I have, this is kind of what my point was like here in New York. Okay, every neighbor that I have is a buffer. So, like my neighbors directly next door and the ones next door to them, which is Richard and his wife, if they came to me and they said, Ed, we need some help and stuff like that, I want them to be there because they're not going to circumvent houses to come down. That's a buffer. That's somebody that can help protect what we have. And it's in their best interest to keep you safe because you are the one that can supply food and help people out. Are you getting, do you understand what I'm talking about that? That's if you are a lone wolf. You're exactly right, Frederick Nolan. If you're a lone wolf, you're going to be in big, big trouble. But if you like, and I've talked about groups forever and a day, and I will never stop saying that groups are the way to go. But let's talk about some other factors, and that's just like location is like the biggest factor of your chances. Your chances of making it in a rural area greatly increase because a lot of people are not going to come to those rural locations, especially, if you're higher up elevation, they're going to take the path of least resistance. They're not going to go out of their way to try to target, homes that are way out, especially if they're getting shot at. Okay. So those are things to think about. Now let's talk about health issues. If you are way, way, way overweight, and I'm talking, when I say way overweight, 100 plus pounds overweight. Let's just go with that level. And there's a lot of people in this country that are 100 plus pounds overweight. Your chances of surviving in a post event realistically are very slim. And I'm going to explain why. There's not going to be any more diabetes medicine. There's not going to be any more, you know, anybody there to help you. You're going to have to be doing a lot of things for yourself. And because of that, people that are not able to move around. Okay, so let me kind of break it down this way. Out of 100 people that are 100 plus pounds overweight, and this is strictly my opinion, I would say you got a 5% chance of making it. And the reason is if you're not used to getting out there and moving around, and getting things going and doing what you're going to have to do, because in a post event, that's what you're going to have to do. You're going to have to be a lot more active than you are now. You're going to see a lot of those people drop out of heart attacks. Shoveling snow every year in New York State, we have how many people dropped out of heart attacks every single year because they're overweight, they're sitting in their house, they go outside and they try to shovel the driveway, and bam, they're gone. All right, happens all the time. In a post event, you are going to be a lot more active. So I would encourage anybody, and I'm first of all, I'm not judging anybody. You can do whatever you want. It's your body. If you want to stuff yourself so much that you're, that heavy, that's your choice. But if you want to have a better chance of surviving what's coming, you better take the reins and say, I'm going to do something about my physical health, because that's important. It's really, really important. If you are on 15 to 20 medications daily, they're not going to be there. Those medications are not going to be there. So, again, if you can take control of your situation, I couldn't tell you how many people have said to me, I weighed this amount of weight and I was on diabetes medication and all this type of stuff. They said I got off of all of those medications because I dropped the weight. It's amazing. It's amazing the difference that you feel. 10, 15, 20 pounds. I know, like, when I get myself going and I'm like, okay, I'm going to really drop weight. And if I drop 20 pounds, which I've, done numerous times, I always seem to refine it. But it's, the difference, the way it makes you feel is much, much better. And that's one of the reasons too, guys. I'll be honest with you that I cannot wait to be down full time in West Virginia, because I plan on walking those hills every single day. I plan on it because that is going to be the best way to get into shape. To getting out there and being more active in those type of things. So, um, lost 15 pounds since July and plan to drop more in 2022. Randy Romine said, "That's awesome. You know what? And that should be a goal for everybody. It should be, yeah, with a banjo, exactly. Um, that should be the goal for everybody. Take care of yourselves. Take care of your physical health, because that is a huge, huge factor. The better shape that you are in, your chances of surviving in an SHTF situation goes up exponentially, because let's talk about a reality. Okay, let's say you're in suburbia, SHTF happens, and now you got to bug out. You don't have a choice. They're coming and they're burning and looting every single house, and there's thousands of them. Yeah, Joe from St. Bernard Acres, I mean, he's lost a tremendous amount of weight. Unbelievable, the difference in the way he looks. I mean, he's lost like 70 plus pounds, I think, something in that range. He told me, and I talked to Joe about this. He said walking from the cabin to the barn, he would be out of breath. Since he's lost that weight and since he's starting taking better care of himself, he goes, man, I'll tell you what, he goes, I just feel so much better. It's unbelievable the difference that can make. Okay. And I understand depression is part of it and all that type of stuff too. But, be proactive, help yourselves. That's what I'm going to always encourage you to do. Now, if you choose not to, that's your choice. But if you truly want to make it in an SHTF situation, you need to be proactive in trying to help yourself now. Now is the time, because I'm going to tell you what, the learning curve in a post event is going to be very, very steep, very, very steep. And if you have to, like I said, if you have to bug out, and let's say you're 300 pounds. Okay, let's say you're 5'7" and you weigh 300 pounds. You're not going to be able to, number one, keep up with anybody, not long term. If you could walk a mile, I'd be shocked. And like I said, I'm not judging. I don't want you to think I'm judging. I'm just being realistic. And I told you guys when I started this stream tonight, I'm going to hurt some feelings, but I'm going to tell you straight because I believe that it's really important to be 100% honest with you. Because if you have something that you can look in the mirror and say, I could change this or I can change this to be, you know, better for myself, to give my chances of survival, not even just for an SHTF event, but just chances of surviving and living longer. I'm going to give you an example of something. Okay. How many 600-pound 60-year-olds do you guys know? 600-pound 60-year-olds. I want you guys in the comments. Do you know anybody that is 600 pounds and 60 years old? And I'm going to tell you what, there may be one or two, but I doubt it. You know why? They don't live that long. You know why they don't live that long? Because your body is not designed to be able to survive that. So they're dropping dead. And there's a lot of them that are a lot less than 600 pounds, but they're dropping dead in their 30s, in their 40s, because your body and your heart can't take that. Ever watch My 600-Pound Life? And, the different ones that make every excuse in the world of why they can't lose this weight. Okay. They won't even do the surgery on these folks unless they get down to a certain level because it's unsafe, because they're too heavy, you know? So, again, if you are in better shape, if you're taking better care of yourself, I'm going to tell you, I'm very fortunate that I'm as active as I am. I think it makes a big difference in how you feel. Um, I have to do a lot of physical stuff, and that's okay with me. I don't mind doing that. I actually enjoy doing that, to be honest with you. But I think, like I had actually John, one of the guys in my group, was up here yesterday, and I'm older than John. And, he said to me, we were sitting here talking, and he said to me, I got to tell you right now, man, he goes, you're in way better shape than I am, but I'm active. You know what I mean? I'm very active. And so winter times kind of suck because you're not as active. But again, you can do something about that if you want to. But it's just, you have to be careful, and your health is so important on so many levels that you got to watch that. So that's a big part of it too. Now we'll talk about something else. If you're compromised, all right, and this is going to be harsh for some of you. Some of you are not going to like this, but I'm going to give you, I told you, I'm going to give you an honest assessment. If you were on dialysis of any kind, your chances of survival long term in a post event are zero. You already know that. I'm not telling you something you don't know. But your chances of surviving long term, if you are in any kind of dialysis, it's just not going to happen. You're not going to survive. If you have major medical issues where you're taking a tremendous amount of medication, and I'm talking a lot of medication. uh, if somebody, okay, a good example would be, they people that get like kidney transplants or whatever transplant. A lot of times they give you drugs to help your body not reject the organ, right? That so they got you on these drugs that helps you so that it doesn't reject the the transfer. Well, you're not going to have access to those drugs, and if you can do home dialysis, but it's very taxing. But again, okay, Gene, it's a good point. But it's a good point. But let me give you another point with that. What happens when you run out of clean stuff? Because you're only going to have so much on hand, no matter how much you prep. So, and again, it'd be very difficult. I did say long term, and I did say long term because some people are going to be able to, you know, keep it going for a short term. Now, if you are an insulin dependent diabetic, all right, my mother takes insulin. That's a fact. Okay. My mom is too heavy. That's also a fact. I think that if mom lost the weight, hopefully maybe she could survive that. But the reality is, if you are an insulin dependent diabetic, SHTF happens. Once your insulin runs out and you don't have it anymore, your chances of survival are very slim. And if you can get your weight down to a certain level, exercise on a regular basis, really watch your intake of what you're taking in, you're going to have, you're going to have a better chance of survival. But the reality is, again, if you were born an insulin dependent diabetic, you're not going to make it. It's that's just a fact. You got anybody severely compromised, and I'm severely compromised where, if you're in a wheelchair and you're dependent on other people to, get you around and stuff like that. If you don't have those people around you that are willing to help and help you get to where you want to go, again, your chances of survival are not very, very high. The more that you can be proactive in your own health and in your own circumstance, trying to figure out, here's a good example. You could try to figure out to alternative medicine that you could possibly use in nature. I would you know, definitely encourage that. Absolutely encourage that. Uh, you know, Figure things out now, because I'm telling you right now, if you wait to the last minute and say, "Oh, I'll figure that out later," and then SHTF happens, that's too late. You got a very short window to figure stuff out then at that point, and that's going to make a big difference again, if you survive or if you don't survive. So what do we got? We got 793 in the chat, guys. We're at 392 on the thumbs up. So again, I'm going to ask real quick if you have not shot a thumbs up, to shoot one up here for us, please. And thank you very much for doing so. I do appreciate that. And is there natural things that can replace seizure meds? Gene, you'd have to look into that. You would have to look into that. So, but again, if you haven't shot a thumbs up yet, please do so to show support for the channel. And thank you ahead of time for doing so. Also, it really does help with the algorithms. So the more interaction that we have with the channel, the better it is. So if you could throw that thumbs up there for that reason as well, it just helps the rankings. So thank you for that reason as well. Uh, are you excited to get to 100,000? Yeah, I am. Away from society, actually, I am. I just think that it'd be very cool to have. If I get that plaque, you'll see it right behind me on the wall. That's where you'll see that 100,000 plaque will be on the wall behind me. Because I think that's a cool thing. I really do. You know what it means is perseverance and hard work pays off. That's what it's going to be if that happens. But again, if you're not subscribed to the channel, I would ask you to please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. The reality of what I'm talking about tonight, guys, with your chances of survival in a post event, 90% of it can be controlled by you. By you. Now, will there be people out there that are hardcore preppers, been prepping yada 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 forever and a day, that won't make it? Absolutely. Absolutely they won't. It happens. People are going to die in a post event. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. If I have a group, let's give an example. I get down to West Virginia, and let's say I got a group of, I don't know, 50 people. Let's just use that number. We'll say 50 people. We're going to come under attack at some point. That's a fact. That's a fact, especially when people realize that you have something, you are going to come under attack. You may lose people in those attacks. Okay. That's a fact too. People are going to get sick. People are going to get things that we're not going to be able to take care of that we used to be able to take care of. Now, I will say this: I'm very fortunate that some members of the group that are planning on coming in and being part of the group, we're going to have a good medical team. We're going to have a good medical team. There's quite a few nurses that are going to be in my group. So, that makes a big difference. To me, it does. Makes a huge difference. Okay. There's going to be mechanical injuries that happen. People are going to break legs. People are going to fall. They're going to, you know, you're out in the woods all the time. There's going to be issues that are going to come up. It's just, it is what it's going to be. It's not going to be like it is now. So the better position that you put yourself in for survival, for looking to survive, it's going to make your situation better. And that's just a fact. So, people had asked me why I went down, why I bought property in West Virginia when I pretty much got what I have here set up. I mean, that's the reality. I pretty much have what I have here set up. There's a couple things, obviously, I would tweak. I'll add, if I was going to stay here, I would add more fruit trees. I would add, put in a pond, all those type of things. Yeah, snake bites, Sonia just said too. Exactly. Snake bites are going to kill people as well. There's going to be a lot of things that are going to be making a big difference. Did you notice that the Walking Dead, they were all thin because they constantly walked? Exactly, exactly. You know, you get, like I said, that you would, anybody that would like, remember the show Lost, when they were with the plane supposedly crashed and they were on the island and stuff like that, and it was all the weird stuff with the island. That was an interesting series, but it's just, what does the Walking Dead eat if it can't find brains? I have no idea. Well, they eat everything. They just didn't eat the brains. They eat everything. But no, but you have to realize you're the captain of your own destiny. If you decide you want to do something, and you want to try to make it, do something about it realistically. And I've talked about this 100 times over, and I'll mention it again right now. If you have a group, your chances of survival in a worst case scenario, SHTF hits the fan, it's the end of the world as we know it. If you have a group of people that are all been planning to work together, you've been training together, you've been meeting on a regular basis, you have supplies on site, and everybody in that group has supplies on site. So that way, if they make it to the bug out location or not, they have a hand in it. They have food there. They're not coming in there with their hat in their hand only. You could have the best intentions in the world, and I'm going to load up my truck, and I got a trailer, and I'm going to bring all that stuff with me. And then if we have, an EMP happen, or if we have a solar flare happen, and there's no way you're getting there except for maybe a bicycle. If you have a bicycle, you're going to get what you can carry. And you got to remember, on the road, there's going to be a lot of dangers between you and your location that you're trying to get to. But if you get to your location, and if you have supplies on site, and you have a shelter on site, and you have your like-minded brothers and sisters that you've been working with, that you know, planning on doing that with, you're going to be in a lot better shape. Your chances of survival then, realistically, pretty strong. The stronger your group, the good, the better location that you're going to have. The reason, I'll tell you what, there was several factors for me wanting to get a bug out location out of New York, and I did choose West Virginia. Okay, and I chose West Virginia for a lot of reasons. It's a very mountainous area, very mountainous area. Not a huge population down in West Virginia. Hey, Patty Forte. Ed, we went to Indy for Christmas and came down with a UTI. Uh, what if that happens in an SHTF situation? What about us ladies have on hand? That's why you would want to make sure you have antibiotics available. And women are going to get UTIs. That's just a fact. You know, cranberries. That would somebody just put that on there too. But that's why you have antibiotics. Make sure you got plenty on hand. I would always encourage people to do that. If you can get antibiotics and have them on hand for those type of situations, um, you know, that's. I think obese people will be in crisis in SHTF. Stephen, YouTube, and just said that. You're 100% right. You're 100% right. And what we have to, let's be realistic. Let's look at our society right now. I'm overweight, guys. Not going to get on here and I'm not going to say, oh, I'm in the best shape and blah, blah, blah. I'm not. I'm not. Be the first to admit it. Okay. I could probably stand to lose. If I lost 30 pounds, I'd be pretty good shape. Pretty good shape. You know. Can I just say your beard is always on point? Give some advice to the bros. Oh, thank you, man. It's yeah, I started growing it out. It's wintertime. It's what I do. So we'll see. I'm not sure how long I'm going to let it go, to be honest with you. But I definitely, we'll see what happens. I would keep the weight in case you need it. Well, like I said, I can get around pretty good. I don't have no issues that way. Walking straight up a hill and trying to talk, you've seen the videos, not an easy task. But I'm telling you what, when I get down there, oh yeah, I'm sorry. Thanks, JJ. JJ goes egg count time, Ed. I'm beyond that point. I missed it. So, but yeah, we'll talk more about this in just a second. Okay. Um, sorry. Let's do the egg count. I will tell you this. I will give you yesterday's egg count because you guys don't know what we did yesterday. Yesterday we had 6 eggs yesterday, so they did really really well yesterday. So I'll give you guys a second to get your guesses in for today. Hold on a second here. Give you guys just another minute to get your guess. All right. If you guys had the same exact guess as Heidi Short with 2 eggs today, that's all we got today. We had 6 eggs yesterday. Yesterday we had a lot more sunshine. Today we had no sunshine. It was overcast all day long. Today, all day long it was overcast. So we only ended up with 2 eggs today, and it happens. Nope, Thick Neck has not laid again. She gave me that little run where she had like 3 eggs in 6 days, but then it got colder, and she's like, "Nope, okay, I'm done." I've definitely been checking for holes. I'm hammer. I'm not seeing any holes. I'm staying on top of that, and so yeah, but they just weather related. It makes a big difference. Uh, how do I get 6 eggs yesterday, and then today I end up with 2? I mean, but again, a lot of that comes down to with not a lot of sunshine, the chickens are not going to lay. The more sun you get, the better it's going to be. So obviously now we're getting more daylight every day, so it'll come together. I'm not too worried about it. Yeah, Thick Neck is on strike. She don't like to lay when it's cold. She don't like to lay. She does not like to weigh. So, but anyhow, so yes, that's what happened there. But I want to go back to talking about again when SHTF happens, your best chances of survival. Okay, let's talk about it. If you're in a rural area, you are working on your physical health, and your mental health is very important too. You have to be mentally in the right place. Uh, you know, I think that's important. The less dependent that you are on drugs, whatever drugs, we're probably the most, I think, no, we are the most drugged country in the world. We take more drugs in this country than any place else. So think about that, okay? If you have a group, uh, you know, that you're willing to work with and they're willing to work with you, your chances of survival long term. You're not just trying to survive the initial event, folks. And I want you to think about this because a lot of people are not looking at the big picture in an SHTF situation. They're looking to just survive. I'm not looking to just survive. I'm looking to thrive. That's what I want to do. I'm looking to survive. You know what I mean? So it is, you know, long term is what you got to look at. You get it if you make it through the first year, and I want you to let's put it in perspective. Worst case scenario, SHTF event, you've made it through the first year. Now it's about living because realistically, probably, and this is just my kind of guess, I think after the first year, 90% of the population would be gone. So there's going to be a whole lot less people to worry about after that first initial year. What I think you will see in the rural communities, I believe you will see people work together because it's just in their nature, and it's in their mindset, and it's also in their best interest to do so. I think that's really important. We got to watch out for each other. We got to watch out for. I'm going to tell you what I've said to members of my group already. All right. People that I bought the property from, they're in their 60s. Okay. I said, when SHTF happens, we're watching out for them. I like them. They're good people. And I can tell they're good people. And so I have no problem. I don't know if they prep at all. I have no idea if they prep at all, but I would watch out for them. And that's just it's just the right thing to do. You don't need to have any other reasons than that. To me, it's just the right thing to do. So, I think that that's really important, and I think we should all be trying to get to that point where we're going to be able to help others if they need it, and they're going to need it. There's going to be a lot of people that are going to need help in a worst case scenario. But if you have a group of people, like-minded, working together, realizing that first year is going to be a freaking nightmare because you're going to have people coming looking to take what you have. That is, it's going to happen. Okay, you survive that first year. Now you need to live. You need to expand. You need to work on what you need to work on, and actually through the whole course of that year, that's what you're going to be doing. You're going to be working on what needs to be worked on because it is going to be about your survival. You're going to have to be putting in defensive positions, making sure that people don't have easy access to get to you. I'll tell you this: my property in West Virginia, from the main road, which is a road that you can't pass two cars on at the same time. All right, that's not that's the reality of that road. I'm 8/10 of a mile in from that road. So you could drive by my property a million times and you'd never know where I was because I sit that far back in. All right. I love that about the property. When I went down and looked at the property, and the property owner's husband took me back into the property, one of the first things he said to me was, "This too far back in for you?" And I looked at him and I'll never forget it because I went, "No, this is perfect. This is exactly what I want because it's off the beaten path. Okay. It's off the beaten path. And it's not something like you're not going to drive down the main road in the winter or in the summer and be able to see what I got going on back there. You're never going to. So, but it's just, you know, you put yourself in the right location with the right people, you surround yourself with the right like-minded people that are on the same page as you, your chances of survival in an SHTF situation go up exponentially. It's huge, unbelievably huge. So why did I pick West Virginia? Many reasons, many reasons. Number one, it's a red state. I'll be honest with you, that was a big factor for me. It is a constitutional carry state. Open, concealed carry don't matter. You don't have to go get special permission from the local government to be able to carry. They don't have a lot of murders in West Virginia. Isn't that amazing how that works? You know why? Because everybody assumes that everybody else is armed, and a lot of them are. Okay, a lot of them are. There is also the taxes are a lot less. In that area. Taxes are a lot less, and like I said, the weather is much better than New York. Um, you know, you get 500 miles south of New York, the weather's going to be better. That's just a fact, right? It's just and I had to laugh when people said to me, "Well, you're still going to get snow in West Virginia," but it ain't like New York, folks. It ain't like New York. So it'll be a big difference. Very mountainous area. It's going to be very difficult for people to get to other people to try to hurt people because of the terrain. It's just not going to be conducive for people to be thinking, yeah, I'm going to go do this. You could absolutely thrive down there. The growing season is going to be longer, and I don't get the lake effect here, Alex. No, I don't get the lake effect. So but no, West Virginia is awesome. If you're thinking, like I said, the price of land was just, and I kind of spilled the beans, and I'll tell you what I paid for my property again down there because it doesn't matter. I paid $35,000 for 25 acres. You can't beat that. You can't beat that. You're not getting that in New York. I can tell you that right now. Okay, you're not getting that. Even as you get, you know, if you get, West Virginia has only 1.7 million people. It's rough terrain. It is absolutely rough terrain. So a lot of woods, a lot of woods. Yes, it is. Of my 25 acres, probably 20 of the acres is woods. So yeah, it's just it was a great deal. It was a great opportunity, and like I said, I fell in love with the property right away. I know I've told you this part of the story before, but I'll tell you guys real quickly again. So when we were there and we're looking, and after we talked to him a little bit, we just kind of were looking around, and Heather looked at me and she said, "This is the one, isn't it, Dad?" And I went, "Yeah, Heather, this is the one." So we came to an agreement. And it worked out great. Like I said, and I'll tell you a story too. And this is what they told me. How about you're gonna love this one? They had somebody else wanted to buy the property, okay, and this person was like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna put a lock on the gate here, and I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna do that," and they didn't like the way he was talking. So they didn't sell the property to him because of those reasons. And I'm glad, because obviously then I had the opportunity to, find it and get it. And they obviously liked me because they sold me the property, and it's going to be awesome. Like I said, it's going to be awesome. And I'm really, really excited about it. It's going to be quite the adventure. And, 20 acres of rural Utah of nice mountains around 100K. Wow. Yeah. Yeah. So big difference. And like I said, and the property taxes down there are next to nothing. They're next to nothing. So, like I said, I'm hoping that I get enough time to get everything in place that I need to get in place before things go to total crap. But I am hoping, and I will get into this more later with you guys. I am hoping that I can sell this property up here, put it on the market in the spring, and just be down there full time. That's going to be the goal. We're going to see what happens with that, and we'll go from there, because a lot of it's going to depend on 70 acres for 100K in Wyoming. Okay, I still got a better deal. But anyway, like I said, it's just, you got to go where you're comfortable with. Absolutely, you have to find what you're looking for. I wanted mountains. I wanted high elevation. Um, you know, it's you know, my elevation here in New York, I'm 1,600 feet above sea level. My property in West Virginia is 3,200 feet above sea level, so it's double the height. Double the height. So it is. Ed, can you do a show on how to buy land? I could probably do that. I could absolutely do that. You know, Ghost Prepper said we got lucky, just over 100 acres for under 100K. Yeah, it's not bad. If you can do that, that's awesome. That is absolutely the way to go. I love this property, and we came to an agreement, and then it all worked out. It all worked out. And like I said, so here's, I don't even know if they're watching. If they're watching, if I did sell this property here in New York, the first thing I'm doing is I'm paying them off. That would be the first thing that I would do, because that kills a payment for me, and I wouldn't have it anymore. You know what I mean? So, but putting yourself in the best chance to survive whatever's coming, 100% encourage you guys to do that if you can. If you can. So, real quick, I want to talk about my website, preppernurse1.com. We have the Prepper Nurse One community there, which is a resource that we set up for you guys to be able to connect with like-minded people. So, I would encourage you all to go check that out. It's free to join. You do have to register, but there's no credit card information asked at all. Ed, you're going to need infrastructure fast down there to keep the animals. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, John. I that's like power's the first thing, and then water's the second. Candace says, Ed, have you ever considered buying your own sawmill? We have talked about that, and I absolutely have thought about that. I could process trees myself that way, which would be great, that we could use for building. So, yes, there's a possibility that that's going to happen. So, uh, big bigger man prepared says, what are your plans for a well in West Virginia? Right now, so we're gonna go. Well, I'll do this real quick, and let me finish on talking about my website, and then we'll come back and I'll answer that question next. Okay. I keep looking, and I'm like, all these people are asking really good questions. So, um, so anyway, also on my website, we have the Forefathers, which is a CBD and hemp store. Definitely take advantage of that as well. If you go to my website, preppernurse1.com, you'll see their logo, Forefathers. If you click on that, it will take you to their website. Once you're on their website, if you decide to make a CBD or hemp purchase, when you check out, make sure you use the discount code PrepperNurse1, which is the number one, not O-N-E. You'll save 15% on your purchase over there. Secondly, or lastly, I should say, if you go to my website, preppernurse1.com, and then you click on store, it will drop down. You will see Legacy Foods. You click on that, it will take you to the store within the website. GMO free. It is vegetarian. There are beef and chicken options available separately that you can purchase. There's also gluten-free options for people that need that. It is the largest portion size of any of the other freeze-dried food companies. So definitely take advantage of that. Freeze-dried food is an awesome thing to have when it comes to prepping, and you definitely should have that. So just putting that out there again. So I see these bots are here again, and they must like that. Yeah, 80K. You know what, man? It's you're always going to get that type of stuff. That's just the way it goes, unfortunately. So real quick again, what are we at? 536. Let's shoot a goal here. Let's make it a harder goal. Let's go with 650. Let's see if we can hit 650 thumbs up before we jump off of here. So we got about 15 minutes to go. So we're looking at what 114 thumbs up to go. So if you have not shot a thumbs up yet, guys, please do show the social support for the channel. Let's see if we can hit 650. It'll just be fun to see if we can hit that number. Thank you ahead of time. I do appreciate that. Again, it really does help with the algorithms. It makes everything helps with the algorithm. Interaction, comments help with the algorithm. Thumbs up, thumbs down. So if you hate me, please shoot the thumbs down. You know, why not? They don't even show them anymore. I think that's funny how they changed that, you know. But so if you would do that, that would be great. And thank you very much ahead of time. Uh, Also, again, if you're not subscribed, please make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit the bell icon to get all notifications as well. Should have no problem hitting 650 with almost 750 in the chat. You're right. There should be no problem hitting 650. So let's see those numbers jumping up. Let's see, what do we got? We got 70 to go. So that went quick already. So if you guys, like I said, let's get that rocking. All right, what am I going to do for water down in West Virginia? And this is something I will tell you guys, this has been on my mind, absolutely been on my mind. I'm not worried about setting up power. I already got the components. I told you guys that. I basically got to build a battery room when I first get down there, and I'm going to have to build a solar rack. You know, that's not going to be that big of a deal. It's going to go pretty quick, actually, when we do that. So, water. I have two springs on the property. I definitely need to develop both of those springs more, and I absolutely plan on doing it. Okay. Ed, thank you. I have to go to work tonight. Take care, folks. Be safe. Thanks, man, Richard. Glad you're here, man. I appreciate you being in the chat. Have a great night at work. Okay. So, what I plan on doing, I don't want to just count on the springs because I don't know what the production of the springs is going to be at this point yet. I have no idea. Okay. I definitely want to develop the springs, but what we're going to do, every single building that is built in West Virginia, every single build. Yeah, it's going to be gravity fed. There's going to be a lower level with the tank, and then we're going to be able to pump it up from there. And I'll show you that when we get everything going. Then I'm going to use a ram pump, to be honest with you, from the lower tank because like the spring is here on this level, and there's a lower area that is more flat. Once I develop this first spring, I think will really do well. That's what I'm hoping. Um, every single building on the property will have a metal roof, number one, and we will have a rain catchment system on every single building. So even the battery room, we will have gutters on that, and there will be like a 550-gallon tank directly behind the battery room. So the gutters, it rains, that water is going to come down and feed that tank. Those things can be utilized all over the property. One good rainstorm, real good rainstorm, and all those tanks could be full in a heartbeat. It's where we may have periods where it's not raining. That's where the springs come in to pick up that slack. But what if you're working on things and you're getting things squared away? It should come together okay. West Virginia does get a lot of rain, which is good, and so at my parents' ranch was all gravity fed. Know exactly what you were talking about. Okay, cool, man. I appreciate that. It's awesome. Yeah, I mean, if you get it set up right, there's no reason that you can't have a good system. It's going to come down, to be honest with you guys, really developing both springs and utilizing. I don't know what kind of water pressure I'm going to get from them. I have no idea. If you sell your New York place, would your mom, Becky, and Heather move to West Virginia with you? Becky has another plan in store, possibly. And like I said, when we know more about that, that may happen. But if New York is passing these draconian laws that they're talking about passing here in January, Becky already said, we're out of here. So, yes, mom, Becky, and Heather would be coming with me down to West Virginia. I think it's a better situation. The beauty of it, realistically, the beauty of it is we make that move and we go down to West Virginia. we're going to be in a much, much better situation. I said, again, the taxes are not going to be as much, which makes it a big, big difference. And I already know what I'm doing this time. So I'm not going to make the same mistakes that I made here at this homestead. So we would be, here's going to be the difference, guys. Here's the difference with what I did here and what I'm going to do in West Virginia. I now have 7 years of experience of living off grid. I know what works and I know what doesn't work. I know what has to be a priority, and I know what is something that can slack and can kind of wait. All right. The important thing right away when I go down in March is getting the water set up and getting the power set up. Uh, th- what about your other sister? Will she be coming with you? Margie has been talking more and more where she's living now that she is not liking it as much. Her camper is down there in West Virginia. I'm going to start out in her camper. Most likely, she will be joining us in West Virginia, and then she will have her camper because I plan on building, obviously, my own home. I want to build something big enough, and this is my game plan, where Heather can have her own room, Mom can have her own room, and I have a room available for Eddie as well. Obviously, I would have my own room. So I would have to build something at least 4 bedrooms, and then big enough that we can have storage and everything doesn't look cluttered. And all you guys are harassing me all the time. Oh my God, your place is so cluttered. Well, when you're prepping and you have a lot of stuff, that's what happens. You run out of places to put everything. So I definitely want a big enough area that I can store stuff, get something underground as a root cellar so I can take a lot of my food preps and put them underground so that they would be safe. Okay. So those are important things. But again, getting those first steps done. And if I do end up selling this property here in New York, which is looking more and more likely, I'm going to be talking to some real estate people. It can be marketed, obviously, in a way that we could definitely, yeah, no permits exactly, EB3 Dale. It's like you're not going to have inspectors all up your butts. They're going to want to tax you more if you build something, obviously. So a whole tea shed, right? Exactly. A whole shed for tea, green tea by the case. But again, the property down there has so much potential, and it is such on a scale of 1 to 10. We'll do it this way. On a scale of 1 to 10, this place in New York where I'm at right now, decent location, but I would give it a 6. I would give it a 6. The property in West Virginia on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give it an 11. It is so much more isolated. I have so much more land. It is just, it's going to be such a better situation overall. And I have the opportunity to do a lot more down there and I can develop things. I'm going to have a great buffer between me and my neighbors. And like I said, my neighbors, nobody's right on the borderline. Nobody's right on the borderline. Their homes are farther in or away. So, it's going to make a big, big difference. So that's, you know, all right. Well, we're running. The time is crazy. So what are we at? We're at 6:23 on the thumbs up. I said 6:50. Oh, we could probably beat 6:50 easy. We got 7:40 still here, guys. Again, if you haven't shot a thumbs up yet, I would ask you please to do so. Show support for the channel, and thank you ahead of time. Let's blow past 650. Let's see how close to 700 we can get. I think with the amount of people that we still have in here, I think there's no reason we can't hit 700 thumbs up. So let's do that as a goal. Okay. We're gonna do some shout outs right now for other channels because we haven't even done that yet. Uh, and so we got to do that. We got to do We Are Legion. Time is, well, we're going to obviously go past because it's going to take longer than a few minutes. So let's do some shout outs first. You guys know I love Angry Prepper. I think Jason is awesome. Are you kidding me? I'd say to him, buy the property next door to me. I would love that. I'd love to have him as a neighbor because he would be somebody I know I could work with. I'd love to sit down and drink beer with him and just shoot the what. So we also have Icky Can up in Canada. Good friend of mine, really, really nice guy. JJ's already thrown his link up there, guys. Definitely you know, give him a shot and give him some support up there. He needs that. Northern Prepper One, guys, newer channel. I think he's only at about 300 subs. He cannot monetize until he has 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. So let's try to help him get to that level so that he can monetize. All right, and so definitely do that and go check his channel out. That's Northern Prepper One. You have Sean James and the My Self Reliance, two different channels. Definitely should support him as well. Great guy, rebuilding again further north where he was before. Good dude, and I think we should support him as well. 80K Man is in the house as well. North Shore Preparedness as well. Really good guy, as you guys know. I definitely support him. He's been moderating for me for since I started doing live streams. So, let's give him some support too. A good way that you can help a channel out, guys, honestly, watch the videos, watch the freaking commercials. I know the commercials suck, but it's how YouTubers get paid for the most part is through that revenue because of the commercials. So that's what I would encourage you to do. So another way like that you can help any of these channels out is just do that. Just do that, okay? We have Joe with St. Bernard Acres. We have Green Greg's. I know he was in the house. I saw him in here earlier. Let's go support him. We have Southern Prepper One. We also have Gray Man Prepping. There is the Green Dream Project. Nice couple down there. Definitely support them. Pinball Preparedness. Really good guy as well. Kyle's Cabin. Nice young couple. Another nice young couple is the Nomadic Movement. They are down in Panama. She came back to the States to have her baby. Obviously, so her baby's an American citizen. They just got the passport, and they're going to be going back down there. Bushcraft Bear over in the Canary Islands in La Palma. Love him. Really down to earth guy. I think he's awesome. The volcano finally stopped erupting, and so it's a good thing. And but you have Magic Prepper out in North Dakota. You got Marfugal News. Adam was just back in the hospital again. He's back out again already. He's got a lot of health issues, guys. So definitely let's go support Adam with Marfugal News. Really good guy, very down to earth. Okay, so also we have going blank here for a second. It'll come back. Alaskan Prepper up in Alaska. Great guy. Highly ask you to support his channel. He's been getting a lot of snow, I guess, up there. So Deep South Homestead, Doug and Stacy. We have Alaskan Granny as well. Also, let's see. Who am I missing? I'm just trying to remember everybody. But, there is a lot of great channels out there. There's a lot of great information. I know. Bush Radical. I didn't say Bush Radical, or his wife, Girl in the Woods. Those are two awesome channels as well. And again, we're a big community. We really are quite a large community, but we're a small niche thing on YouTube. We really, truly are as far as that goes, too. But we are of a different mindset. The Needy Homestead, yes, I didn't even think to talk about them. Prepper Nation is another channel as well. Again, there's a lot of great channels out there. And again, I believe that we should be supporting each other. Canadian Prepper, I didn't mention him either. Thank you, for mentioning that. But the Uneducated Economist, Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project. I mean, there's so many. All right, so that's all the shout outs. That's the last of the shout outs for tonight. But again, I do believe that we should be supporting each other. Okay. Like I said, Angry Prepper was in the chat as well earlier tonight. I think I already mentioned him. But like I said, I love Jason. I think Jason is awesome. So anyway, guys, we are Legion because we are many. We're all over the country. We're all over the world. What are we at? What are we at? 8 or we're at 684. So we can definitely hit that 700 with no issue. 700 is right there. Let's see how high past 700 we can get, guys. Again, if you haven't shot a thumbs up yet, please do so to show support for the channel, and thank you. So where is everybody? Bear Independent. Yes, I did not mention him, and I do apologize. Boss of the Swamp is another great channel. There's so many. There really is so many. Where's everybody from tonight? We have Raleigh, North Carolina, Fort Worth, Texas, Northern California, New Mexico, Montreal, Quebec, Canada. We have Connecticut, Germantown, Maryland, BC, Canada, Hillsborough, Oregon, Ulster Park, New York, Oshawa, Ontario, Canada. Seen Australia was in the house. I didn't see exactly where I missed it. It went by fast. We have Pennsylvania Wilds. Let's see, Oklahoma's in the house. Middle of Georgia, Alabama. I just saw go Roll Tide. We have Mississauga, Ontario, Canada, Southern Ohio, West Central Ohio, Lancaster, Pennsylvania, Lake Country, East Ohio, Appalachian Homestead. Welcome, guys. Waterloo, New York, Kentucky, Franklin County, Ohio, Orlando, Florida, Northern Highlands of California, Utica, New York, Beech Grove, Indiana, Northeast Texas. Let's see, wonderful West Virginia. Can't wait to be there full time, guys. I really can't. Let's see, Northwest Indiana, North Carolina, and Beech Grove, Indiana, once again, the Adirondacks. That's where my man ADK Man's at. South Australia, Nowhere, Oklahoma. We have Vegas, Ocala, Florida, Mesa, Arizona. Delaware's in the house. North Carolina, middle of nowhere, Wyoming. Gotta like that too. Des Moines, Iowa. Savannah, Georgia. Let's see, Franklin, Tennessee, New Hampshire. The Ozarks of Missouri, Hanover, Pennsylvania. So the best place in the world, Dallas, Texas. Go Cowboys! Looking for the number one seed in the NFC. I think well, Green Bay's got two cupcakes left, so it'd be tough for that to happen. But we can hope for an upset. West coast of Florida, Arkansas, New Orleans, Louisiana, Campbell, Missouri. So all over the place, guys. All over the world, all over the country. We are a huge, huge family. We're a huge, huge network. Absolutely. Big, big family. So what are we at? 712. Just for fun, let's see if we can hit 750. That'll be the last one. I keep bumping it up because we keep hitting where we want to be. Let's see if we can hit 750 as far as thumbs up go, because we're not going to be on here much longer. All right. So what are we at? 714. So let's see if we can get 750 thumbs up. Again, if you haven't shot that yet, please do so to show support for the channel, and thank you ahead of time. Uh, you know, I want to really truly thank my moderators who do a fantastic job show after show after show. They come in here, they keep the chat clean, they keep, I want this to be fun. I want this to be enjoyable for everyone, that they can come in here, that they can watch it, they can have their grandkids with them and they can watch it. And it's going to be that kind of show that they can enjoy. And I think that that is awesome. And I think that that's really, really important. So I appreciate everything that they do. I appreciate all of you guys being in here, stream after stream. You ask great questions. I can't ever get to all of them, and I do apologize for that. It's just there's just no way, when you have 800 plus people in the chat, that you're going to be able to get to everything. So I try to answer questions. I had somebody one time like, "Oh, you only answer questions if they give you a super chat." That's not true. That was never true. But you get people are going to be bent out of shape. That's what happens. What are you going to do? Chances of survival in an SHTF event. Last comment I'm going to make on this, and then we're going to go on from here. It's going to depend on what kind of effort you're putting into this. That's going to be a big factor. You're going to have people, guys, that are not preppers, that never prepped, but they're in a good location, and it's going to really depend on where the worst events are going to be happening. It depends on what the disaster is, all those type of things. But your location is going to make a huge difference. Your physical health is going to make a huge difference. And those are things that we do have control over. We all have control over that. And I want you to think about that. So please don't think that I'm attacking anybody, because I'm not. I'm always going to be honest. I'm always going to tell you like it is. I don't sugarcoat things. That's not how I am. I never have been like that. So I'm not going to tell you, if you weigh 450 pounds and you have to go to the store and use the cart to shop around on, that you're going to make it, because you're probably not. Okay. That's reality. If you're out of breath from walking to your house to your car, your chances of survival are not great. There's no judgment on my part on that. I'm just being honest. We have to make sure that we are going in the right direction, every one of us. Physical health, mental health, preparation, location, Uh, Having other like-minded people around you to help you survive, that's going to make all the difference in the world. It's going to really make all the difference in the world. So just that's my last statement on that. What are we at? 728. We need 22 more thumbs up, guys, to hit 750. So let's see if we can do that. Let's get that 750. So again, it does help with the algorithms and stuff as well. So I do appreciate you doing it for that reason as well. I want you truly to remember this. We really, truly are all in this together. We are one race called the human race. If we could focus on that, and if we could focus on working together, realistically, there is nothing that could stop any of us from achieving and reaching our goals. Nothing. We can do whatever we want. We can accomplish whatever we want if we work at it. And I think that that's important. Oh, I didn't do the cats. Let me just do that real quick. Hold on. There's Mr. Max. And there's Miss Stella up in the box. She likes that box. She likes to be there. So also remember, guys, hug and kiss the ones that you love. Tell them every single day. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. We never know what's going to happen in life. So it's really, really important that we tell the people that we care about every single day how we feel. So we're at 736. We need 14 more thumbs up, guys. We got 560 in the chat. I'm sure all of you have not already done a thumbs up. So let's get that up there. Let's get that to 750. And thank you ahead of time. I do appreciate that. Also, remember, guys, STD, step, thing, and day. And that's probably the most critical one of all the things that I do say, because it really makes a difference if you get that mindset. If you get that mindset and you say, I'm going to work methodically, I'm going to get it done, I'm going to achieve my goals, and and you make it happen. It's that simple. STD, step, thing, and day. One step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. Set a goal, realistic goal that you can achieve, and then you go about to making it happen. Once you achieve that goal, now you set your next goal. We've done that here at the homestead. Slowly, methodically worked, made our lives better, to where the point now I'm running 2 houses off my solar system. It's crazy. I mean, it's crazy, but it's awesome at the same time. Be as ready as you can be. Think about your family. Think about the ones that you love. What are you going to do? And I want you to, this is a question for you guys, and I really want you to take this to heart. What are you going to do when the time comes to protect your family, to keep your family safe? I'm going to tell you what, I know what I'm willing to do. I am willing to do anything, anything to keep the people that I care about safe, the people in my group safe. I will do whatever it takes. And that's the mindset you better have. You better be ready to do that. And the more prepared you are, the more ready you are, you're going to be ready to do that. So we hit 750. That's awesome. We're at 751. You guys are the best. You guys are awesome. So anyway, guys, I'm going to jump off of here. I hope you all have a great night. I hope you've enjoyed this discussion. I know we talked about other things right in the beginning. SDM 86. I sold 900 square foot coop apartment in New York City and bought a 21 square foot house in Florida with 1 acres and a pool. I had 5K left over for new flooring. New York bites. Wow. Yeah. Oh, I know. I actually, when I talk about that, thank you for sharing that. That's awesome, and I'm glad you were able to do that. I talked with Angry Prepper today, and I asked him what his rent was, and I'm not going to tell you because that was between me and him. But and he's planning on getting out of New York as well. And I told him, I said, think about having that much money free and clear every month to do whatever you want with it. It's amazing how that looks. Amazing. So anyway, guys, I will see you all in the next one. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. I think the chat was awesome tonight. It went really, really quickly. The time flew, and of course now I'm 8 minutes past when I normally get off of here. So have a great one, guys. I will see you all tomorrow. And I will be live streaming New Year's Eve. Just so you guys know, Friday, I will do the live stream. I don't go out for New Year's. I don't put myself in that position or situation anymore. Haven't for years. So I will be on. All right. I will see you all later. Have a great night. What is it? 7:59? Like we blew through 7:50. Amazing. All right. I'll see you all later. Prepper Nurse 1 out for now.